Let me ask you something. When you hear a name like Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer, John Wayne Gacy, what's the first thing that flashes into your mind? Is it fear? Revulsion? Or is it something different? Something more familiar? Maybe it's a movie scene, like a Netflix thumbnail. Maybe it's Evan Peters in a blonde wig, or Zac Efron in a courtroom flexing his jaw like he's auditioning for the MCU. See, somewhere along the way, these men stopped being just murderers. They became brands. They became content. And in a sick, strange way, they became celebrities. I want to take you back, way back, before Netflix, before court TV, before the word serial killer even existed. It's 1888, London. The streets are foggy, the gas lights flicker, and somewhere in Whitechapel, a woman is screaming. See, Jack the Ripper didn't just kill women. He did it with flair. He mutilated them, posed their bodies, left taunting notes. But the part that made him a legend, it wasn't the brutality, it was the press. See, this was the first time a murderer was turned into a recurring headline. The Whitechapel Fiend, the Ripper. It was the 19th century version of going viral. People bought papers just to read about it. They followed the case like it was a drama series. He wasn't famous because of the crimes. He was famous because people couldn't look away. And that's how this all started. So fast forward to the 1970s, Bundy time. Now we've got cameras, live coverage. America is tuned in. And what do they see? A guy who looks like a politician. Smart, clean cut, charming. Bundy knew the cameras were on him and he played to them. He objected in court, he flashed smiles, he winked at the press. See, this was a man who murdered over 30 women, and he was getting fan mail. So let that sink in for a second. Fan mail. Bundy knew exactly what he was doing. He made himself the center of the story. He wasn't just being tried for murder, he was performing it. For the jury, for the press, for the entire country. Just look at this clip of him kept chumming it up with reporters while on trial.
What everybody else is good. What do you like eating at the Holiday Inn? It's called
And this persona, this charm, it worked. Oh, not legally, but mythically. He became the face of the modern serial killer. But that wasn't the end. That was just the beginning. Okay, really quick before I go any further, hey, welcome to Breakfast Cereal. My name's Josh. If you're new here, welcome. I'm just a guy with a lot of questions. Sometimes those happen to be pretty weird or dark questions. But hey, you've probably got some too. That's why you're here. So that's what this series is all about. It's also about the conversation down in the comments. I want to hear from each of you, so make sure you get in there. And hey, don't forget to subscribe if you like this video. Okay, so where was I? Right. Why we watch. Look, I get it. We're drawn to dark stories. You're watching this channel. I'm making these videos. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm above it or something. I'm just as fascinated. I'm contributing to the slew of content that I referred to back in the intro, right? But here's what I keep coming back to. Why them? Why do we remember the killer's name so easily? Why do they dominate headlines, shows, even merch? Part of it is the way our brains work. We're drawn to anomalies, monsters. We want to understand the thing we're afraid of. And killers? They represent that ultimate taboo. They cross a line that most of us don't even look at, let alone step over. And the media knows this. They package these people like characters in a grim, ongoing drama, complete with catchphrases, chilling photos, and yeah, nicknames. You got the Milwaukee Monster, the Green River Killer, the Son of Sam, the Ripper. Whatever looked best in 72-point bold on the front page. I guess I'm dating myself a bit with the physical newspaper reference, but whatever. See, the more extreme the crime, the more airtime and content it gets, because shock sells. If it bleeds, it leads. Outrage sells. And before long, the killer's face is burned into our collective memory, while the victims, the real human lives at the center of the story, fade into the background. It's not right, but it's effective. The villain always makes the poster. And then somewhere along the way, we stopped studying them and started standing them. Let's talk about dramatizations for a second. Because when Netflix dropped Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and Vile, quite the name, with Zac Efron as Ted Bundy, I couldn't help but notice something. People weren't talking about the horror of the murders. They were talking about how hot Bundy was. And believe me, I wasn't the only one who noticed. I mean, check out this tweet here from the official Netflix account. Bundy, yeah, was manipulative. He used his looks to lure women. But now we're repackaging this manipulation as entertainment. We're turning real killers into heartthrobs. Same thing with Evan Peters' Dahmer. That show sparked a whole wave of fan edits, Tumblr posts, TikToks, fucking Halloween costumes. Tweets saying, he's so misunderstood. Or, even worse, I wish I could have saved him. Really? Saved him from what? From the consequences of drugging and eating people? Let's get something straight real quick here, guys. Dahmer, Bundy, they're not some complex anti-heroes. They weren't Walter White or like Tony Soprano. Fuck, they weren't even Dexter. They were murderers. And we're letting them ride shotgun in our cultural imagination. There's actually a word for people who are sexually attracted to murderers. It's called Hybristophilia. Say that one 10 times quick. I did an entire video on it. It's called I'm in Love with a Serial Killer. You can check that out if you want. I'll link it down in the description below. Okay, let's just get this out of the way. Luigi Mangione is not a serial killer. Like, I'm not trying to lump him in with Dahmer, Gacy, or BTK. It was one killing. But I still can't leave him out of this. Because the way the public reacted after that murder, it might be the most modern example of how fast we turn killers into celebrities. And honestly, how eager some people are for a new one. Okay, so here's what happened. In July 2024, Mangione allegedly walked up to United Health Group executive Benjamin Green in broad daylight in the middle of Manhattan and shot him point blank in the head. Then just turned around and walked away like it was nothing. And look, thoughts on the state of American healthcare and insurance, etc., that's a whole other video. But this was an execution, pure and simple. And what happened next? I mean, it was like watching a fame machine kick into high gear. The mugshot drops, and the video makes the rounds. And suddenly, in some corners, the conversation isn't about motive, justice, or violence. It's about his bone structure. Ooh, TikToks start popping up, tweets start thirsting. People are calling him gorgeous and an icon, low-key hot as hell. There were edits, aesthetic reels, speculation about his skincare routine. I mean, look at this. All of this for a man who, allegedly, murdered someone in the street. And just when you thought it couldn't get more surreal, I literally just saw it today. This Rolling Stone article. Yeah, Dave Franco is already being eyed to play Luigi in a potential biopic. He says he's open to it. So, yeah, that's where we are now. The blood hasn't even dried. And we're already in casting mode. Already turning this guy into a role, a brand, a character, a Franco. This is what I mean when I say the lines are completely gone. You don't need a decade-long killing spree to get famous anymore. You don't need a manifesto or a creepy clown persona. Luigi Mangione may not be a serial killer, but he's a product of the same machine. The same system that turns murderers into myths. And it's getting faster, louder, hungrier. See, murder used to be something we feared. Now, it's something we cast. Every time a new Dahmer or whoever doc drops, a new audience gets introduced to the brand. A new round of interviews, a new thumbnail templates, new merch, new fan theories, and the cycle continues. So, what do we do with all this? Do we stop watching? Stop making shows? Stop reading? No. I'm not here to cancel curiosity. I'm just here to point out what we've built. Because whether we admit it or not, some of these guys got exactly what they wanted. Fame. Not just infamy. Fame. Their faces on t-shirts. Their names are SEO gold. Their interviews get millions of views. Their stories are told again and again by people like me in videos like this. They didn't just kill people, they built a legacy out of it. And I think that should make us uncomfortable. Because the more we mythologize them, the more we risk creating the next one.